All right, Kyle Davidson confirms the Blackhawks are done for the day. Very uneventful free agent day, not just for the Blackhawks, but really as in the NHL as a whole. Not a lot of signings, not a lot of players available on the market. Pretty much all the players that were going to be available, even though it was going to be a weak free agent class to start, even the top guys ended up signing yesterday. So there wasn't much available on the market today. I wasn't surprised to see the Blackhawks be pretty quiet. I said it in my video yesterday that I was expecting potentially one, maybe two moves. We end up seeing one acquisition today. I'll share my thoughts on the lack of moves for the Blackhawks after I talk about the one move they did make. They brought in Sam Lafferty from Buffalo in exchange for a 6th round pick in next year's draft. Lafferty has one more year with a cap hit of $2 million. Obviously, Blackhawks fans are very familiar with Lafferty. The organization continues to bring him back. It just goes to show he's a very valuable player. He's a bottom 6 energy player, good in the penalty kill, good depth option for the Blackhawks. Not mad at this move at all. Obviously, it's not a significant one. It's not someone that's going to play in your top 6, but it's more just a depth option on another guy to compete for a spot in training camp, add some competition there, potentially be a mentor to some of the younger guys coming up. And like I said, if the Blackhawks continue to bring him back, it just shows he's a valuable guy to the organization, especially this organization. They seem to love him. 3rd time they've traded for him in the past 4 years. And that was it for the Blackhawks. No more moves outside of Lafferty. No signings on the day. And I think that's okay. Like I said in my video yesterday, there weren't a lot of spots available. And when you combine that with the fact that so many guys were already off the market by the time today came, the guys that are available are probably getting overpaid, a lot of them. And it just wasn't worth it to get tied up to someone, overpay for someone for multiple years, when really next year and the year after that are when you're going to want to use that money, have that money available to potentially get bigger players. Kyle Davidson said he didn't want to put any players in front of the young guys, which makes sense. They have a lot of young players that could potentially jump to the NHL, and there's only 12 forward spots and 6 defense spots available. Now, they did go out and get Lafferty, which could potentially take a spot away, though I'd say Lafferty might be more of a 13th forward, or maybe he'll get some consistent 4th line playing time, but I don't think he's going to end up taking a spot from a young guy that's ready to play. I think they will favor the young guys ahead of a veteran like Lafferty. And like I said, I think it makes sense that the Blackhawks aren't going to go out and get a lot of guys, especially the guys in this class that are seemingly going to be overpaid. Though I will say, I think if they were going to make a move, like I said in my video yesterday, I was hoping it would be for maybe one top 6 guy, bring one top 6 guy in. Jonathan Drouin signed like 30 minutes ago. He signed for 2 years at a cap hit of $4 million. He was someone I mentioned in my video yesterday that if the Blackhawks could offer him for 2x5, 2x5.5, I think he'd be a great top 6, probably 1st line player to play with Connor Bedard. I wouldn't have minded them going in that direction and actually adding one player that could play in your top 6, especially on a short-term deal like that. And it's not like the Islanders are going to be super good next year either, so I think Drouin definitely could have been on the table if they wanted to go that direction, but it really seemed like they kind of decided from the start that they weren't going to go after anyone. Mikael Granlund still unsigned. He was the other guy I mentioned in my video yesterday. We'll see what he ends up signing for, but I also would have thought he could have been a decent fit if they wanted to add one player. I totally understand not wanting to take spots from the young guys, but you do want to have someone on that 1st line with Bedard. It seems like it's going to be probably either Donato, Teravainen, maybe even Bertuzzi gets 1st line play, even though. So I definitely would have minded them to go out and add someone that can play in that top 6, but I would rather have this where they don't bring anyone in than get tied up to someone on a multi-year contract, like a 3-4 year deal at a high cap hit. I'd rather have them just do nothing instead of sign a contract like that. And obviously, I don't know all the details. Maybe Drouin wanted 3 to 4 years if he wanted to come to Chicago, and that was the only thing he would take. So I don't know any of the details or any of the contexts behind it. I would just say a little bit disappointed not to add someone, but I'm also fine with it. I think it's better than making a dumb move. We'll see how this roster ends up shaping out. There's always the off chance that they bring someone in via trade, though I wouldn't count on it. We'll see how the lines end up. It's not looking like great. I don't think this is going to be a contending wildcard team. I don't know how big of a jump they're going to take, but we can definitely look more into that as we get closer to the season and we actually see how the roster ends up shaping out. It's way too early to jump to any conclusions about that right now. That does it for my free agency recap. Not a whole lot to talk about, but I guess that's all right. Hopefully next year, this video is a little more exciting. That's going to do it for this video.